everyone. This is Elena, and you are listening to a Vibe Jam podcast, where I speak with Vibe coders who use different tools to build hobby projects or internal tooling. And the idea of the podcast is to inspire you guys with the people I invite. And today, my guest is Tamás Kocsis. He's a product leader, maker, and a dad who likes to turn everyday problems into experiments. His latest project started at the kitchen table, where he and his 6-year-old son vibe-coded a math game using AI and a lot of curiosity. Welcome to the show, Tamás.
Hi, Ella. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Happy to be here.
I was happy to speak with you, and I'm also a parent, so this is especially interesting episode for me. I also vibe coded with my kids, so I think we have so many interesting angles to discuss except vibe coding. And to begin with, I'm starting this first season of my podcast with a very simple question: what is vibe coding to you?
Yeah, so it's a pretty interesting question. I must say, vibe coding for me is about removing friction between an idea and the working product. So this is how I try to approach any project that I start with without, any fully spec'd out document or anything like that. It's just following curiosity and try to use AI as a collaborator and iterating fast until something starts to exist. And in case of this little app I built, vibe coding meant sitting down with my son at the kitchen table, as you mentioned as well, and just turn a simple math exercise from a textbook and asking, okay, what if this was actually fun to practice? And this is how it came about.
Yeah, this is incredible. Actually, I do have a lot of questions regarding children and how your son collaborated. But let's begin with how you came to this idea. What was the trigger for you?
Yeah, so the trigger was that my son Martin had this fun exercise in the textbook, which was about math pyramids. And these pyramids, you have to work in a way that every block equals to the sum of the two blocks that are directly below them. And he really enjoyed solving these exercises, but at one point we ran out of these pyramids, and we started to put together with my wife some pyramids on pen and paper, but it was very painful. So you can imagine, if you try to build a 5-6 level pyramid, it can get messy very fast. And then I thought, okay, maybe this could be something that we could do with Lovable, and that was what sparked the idea. And then we went ahead and started building the app.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you started by yourself, or you immediately included your son? How was the beginning?
So yeah, I wanted to bring with him. I wanted to build it with him from the beginning. So I wanted him to see, okay, how we start and really how we follow a really step-by-step approach. The first version being very ugly. I can show you screenshots from it later. And then how we prototype the quick game mode first, so that you just set quick levels and what is the max number that you want to hit. How that eventually turned into a much bigger game where you can have levels, different avatars that you can pick and sign up via Magic Link as well. So that was a real process that he went through of building a product from scratch. And actually his New Year resolution was that he really wants to learn how to build things like that. So it really got him thinking as well, which is great.
Yeah, so hint for Lovable, guys, you need to have a kids mod specifically for kids. And I imagining, as also product person, I immediately, draw in my head how it can look like. It's basically something in between Scratch, and Lovable. And then you have a very childish interface, but the outcome can be really practical for children. Oh, yeah, fantastic. So maybe we should just immediately jump to what you built, and it will be a lot of questions from me on the details how you made it.
Yeah, let me bring it up. So first, maybe I just want to show you how the exercise looked like in the textbook.
Amazing.
This was the textbook exercise, as you can in the German mathematics textbook, and then this is a screenshot from the first version of the pyramid.
Yeah.
You can see it's a bit off and a bit ugly, and then this is what we have now on the right side.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you are right now showing quite complex level, I would say.
I am now switching over to the current version. So this is the quick play mode. We can dive into the other modes later.
Yeah.
But basically, when you come in, you have the quick play, and you can set the levels immediately. So in the beginning, I would suggest to start smaller, but for advanced kids, and there were even some grandpas who tried it. They go all the way to 15, and then set some challenging numbers as well. But let me show you with the smaller one, so I don't make that many mistakes. And actually, the pointing system, the scoring system is pretty sophisticated. So that was something I also iterated on
Wow.
quite rapidly. So it rewards speed, accuracy, and has also streak bonuses. And also
Okay.
penalizes. You can ask for hints. You get less points if you use hints, and it also penalizes errors. So that was something that we added later as well.
Yeah, so you took basically every nice practices from products like Duolingo, like with gamification, and embedded into your product.
Yeah, yeah. And I think again, like just to highlight, this was not how we started out. Like it was like there were ideas that came later that made the product better over time. So I can
Hmm.
just quickly show you how it works. So this is 6, right? So this is 0 over here. This is a 1. This is an 18, and this is not taken. Cool. So I
Yes,
solved it,
bingo.
and yeah, big celebration after that, and
Yeah.
you can see how the score is broken
Yeah.
down based on my actual results. So at this point, I can go and show you how the home works. So the adventure mode is actually the heart of the game, and this is something that we built in order to let's say hook the kids a bit, and have a more sophisticated system in there. So the quick play, you can do it without signing up for the game, but the adventure mode you need to sign up for that. And here you have like a full game mechanics with 10 different levels. You start small, so you start with a simple three-stage, three-level pyramid.
Hmm.
With a maximum number of 40, and then you go all the way to stage 10 when you have like a 10-level pyramid with a maximum number of 500, and so you can really master the whole addition and subtraction, and practice logical thinking. And the other cool thing that we introduced were avatars. So different avatars are being unlocked as you progress along the games. And this is something that kids really like. So you start off with 4 basic avatars, this on the top, and then you can unlock Egyptian cats, rubies, and so on. And the last one is the RAS champion. So we kept this whole
Nice.
Egyptian theme across the whole.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds wonderful. And basically, these stages are based on your progress. Once you progress, you move to the next stage, to the next stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. Is it like what is the age you think kids can play?
So the age I would say is between 5 and up to 9, let's say, because I think for a 9-year-old, the 10-level pyramid is still challenging, and it takes a bit of time to solve. But now I'm also thinking about how we can include maybe multiplication in there, or subtraction, or some more advanced mathematics in
Absolutely.
there. But so that would be kind of like a next step for us to build out with the game.
Yeah, yeah. And then you said you have an adventure mode. I immediately thought, I don't know why, but that's a kind of a competition online play for the classmates. So I imagining that at least for my child, he's extremely competitive. For
Yeah,
him, the best motivation is to have a championship or something. And I'm thinking about like if I can give him a tool where he can compete with classmates on the results of like of speed, like accuracy and everything else on
yeah.
the specific practice, home practice, and see the results at school, on a leaderboard or something.
Mhm.
Because for the timetables, they have something similar. It was not a competition, but it was more like a progression who learned timetables till the date, and it was a kind of a leaderboard. And I'm thinking about like this is the very universal, to be honest, the structured to fill the pyramid is very universal. So you can put, as you said, you have addition right now, but you can easily put timetables to fill it in. Later, maybe
Yeah.
even some geometrical shapes, which can be combined into some bigger shape. I don't know. So it's really scalable, and especially also multiplayer, I think, can add so much, especially in the class.
Mhm.
For kids to practice at home to keep them motivated, because my observation from my previous experience working in educational startup is that keep kids motivated at home to work on home task, especially as you saw us a picture from the
Yeah.
book, which is like very boring, to be honest. Like it's like super boring, but you saw in this picture a really great product idea and you just took it and enabled it. And as you also mentioned, like we started there, but we finished there. But there are so many opportunities to develop it even further on. And I'd like to a little bit come to the beginning of your story. So when you started Vibecoding, like how you prepared your first prompt, like what was that?
Mhm. So the first prompt was really uh, something very raw and rough, actually. So I made a stamp of the image that I just showed you, and I uploaded to Lovable, and I also just roughly described, okay, I want this to be a game for kids between this and this age, and I want to set the levels, I want to set the maximum number, and I just really wanted to figure out and see, okay, what's going to happen, and what is going to make out of it. And from that point, like the very early rough pyramid that I also showed in the beginning of the podcast, that was already something so tangible and so, like, it has had like
Mhm.
a really wow effect for my son Martin, that also kept us going. Like, okay, what if this could be like a higher number? What if this could be, instead of 5 stages of high level, 10 levels? And he also, pitched in his ideas as well, and it was really fun and bonding time together.
Yeah, and how the idea with the Egypt connection came? Like, who was the ideation guy?
The Egypt came, I think it came from me, actually, because of the pyramid, and I thought, okay, this could be like a whole theme around it, because I was really into history as a child, and I also loved Stargate and all those science fiction
Yeah.
series. So this inspired me.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to show something in the product more, or like some functionality,
I
or
think
maybe we?
we can. Mhm. We can talk a bit about the leaderboard, because I think that's something that you also mentioned. So
Okay.
the leaderboard actually was something that came later, and that was the time when I saw that how kids can become very competitive, and it actually sparked a lot of competition between friends and friends of friends, and you can see that there is like a full-blown leaderboard now implemented there,
Wow.
and we have like an all-time leaderboard, and this guy, who is still on the top, he a bit tricked the system, and I had to then introduce the new scoring system that I mentioned earlier. So he was
It,
just really solving easy pyramids one after each other, and this is how he ended up on the top of the top of the leaderboard.
kids are smart. Kids are
But
smart.
yeah, but he was obsessed until he reached the top. He was like really doing them one after each other,
Yes,
and
yes.
yeah, that
But
was the.
it looks like you have quite a pretty big number of users. Like how many users, I don't know, per week you have?
So at this point, it's not that many recurring users. What I see is that there are many people who are trying out the quick play, and they really enjoy, and that they play multiple times. But the problem is for me that they don't sign up. So it's like
Okay.
the typical freemium type of problem. How you
Yeah.
turn those guys into like signed up subscribers. It's kind of like a challenge that I have at the moment.
Yeah. My personal learning regarding like how make a consistent coming back of kids to your product, usually, and fortunately, maybe unfortunately, I don't know, you need to have a kind of a task coming from the authority. So basically, if a school adopted the tool and the tool is great and motivating and kids likes to play, you have a little bit of like external trigger to come to the product because your child knows that next day at school they will see the result and who played the most and who practiced the most will be on top. So that's a motivation. And so I think like um surely kids can play, but unfortunately right now in the market so many heavily kind of gamified tools, then if you really want to build an educational product but keep it more educational but less entertainment, you will be struggling a little bit because kids are very distracted by heavily gamified tools with very low educational value. So as
Mhm.
a product builder, you will see this. But your tool is really educational, and I think it fits so well to the educational like framework at any school because it just gives a practice in a very nice gamified way, in a nice competitive way. It's just a question of like, will you have time and possibilities to really like work towards this?
Yeah, I reached out actually to the teacher of my son, and planning to get feedback from her as well, and to kind of figure out, okay, how we can bring this further. But I also really liked your idea on the challenges for the school class. I think that could really engage people, and then bring more folks to the website.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, if some listeners will hear this and say, "Yes, I want this to my school," don't be shy. Please reach Tamas and just bring it to your school. So, guys, we need to help the fellow vibe coders who do a side project with like fantastic. It can be a product company. So right now I want to switch a little bit to the like a creation and building process for you. I think if you can unshare the screen, then we will have us on the screen. Yes, nice. Yeah, so I'm very curious regarding your process working with Lovable. What other tools have you used? Only Lovable or not? For the design perspective, like adding this like layer of character design, I believe it's not maybe done in Lovable, maybe some other AI tool. Just tell us more details so other people who'd like to create also hobby useful projects for their kids or maybe for themselves can really grasp your knowledge.
Yeah. So one thing that we used was that I also inherited from building products in the past 10 years was this crawl, walk, run approach. So really get started as fast as possible with something very small that works, and then build upon the first building blocks. And then this is how you can build like really comprehensive systems and apps that feel very complete. And so only once we had the quick play mode set up, then we moved into the adventure mode and adding, avatars and all those things. And actually, the avatars, as far as I remember, were generated by Lovable as well. So I was also very surprised by the quality of that and how consistent, like I was able to keep it very consistent and very, resembling, like keeping the style very solid across the different avatars and across the game itself as well. I spent quite a bit of time with setting up the domain and all those things. I was brainstorming and trying to figure out domains, but I also used Claude and Lovable. These were the two tools that I was relying on along the way. I have a bigger project where I started off with more detailed instructions, starting with Claude, writing like a mini PRD for myself, and then take that PRD and then put that into Lovable. But what I found, which was very, very handy, is the chat mode. So I'm using the chat mode inside Lovable very extensively because it has all the context. You don't need to repeat yourself. It can just look into the files and then get the context from there. So even if I ideate, I'm now using the chat mode to brainstorm, and then not this removes the barrier of switching between tools.
Yeah, chat mode is very helpful. I totally agree with you. Yeah. Initially, I used more Chat GPT just to go and brainstorm then kind of speak with chat. But right now, yes, chat inside Lovable serves the purpose. Speaking about PRD, yeah, you said you built PRD outside and then you basically added this to knowledge base, or you just copied the whole PRD and put it as a first prompt?
Yeah, the knowledge base was something I'm also using now with other projects, and I found it super handy because it helps you stop repeating yourself all the time. So it just creates this general knowledge across pages that you are building or across features that you're building. So that's right now with Math Pha. I also use actually Lovable to generate a knowledge section for myself for the app itself that I can copy into the settings inside Lovable. I'm not sure if everyone knows about this feature, but it's really handy, and it
Yeah.
keeps the UX consistent, and then gives you like a platform where you can share these important notes that and the kind of systems that you want to create.
Yeah, totally agree. And just to, we are almost at the end of our conversation, but at the end, I want to hear from you some tips and tricks, some recommendation for people who just starting with the tools, like based on your experience, what it's like, what they should do or shouldn't.
Yeah, so I would suggest that to just start experimenting. You don't need to have a genuinely unique idea to start with. You can also just recreate small apps or small games that you like to play, and it's just super fun, and you're gonna learn so much along the way. You can see how these are being built together in Lovable, or you can use now Cloud Code, which I'm now also deep diving these days. Most of those tools are super helpful, and the barrier to entry is just is not there anymore. Like anyone can build an app. I felt so empowered after using Lovable and learning it, that yeah, I keep coming back and keep building stuff, which is the best feeling.
Yeah, totally. I hear you have the same feeling. This is basically the tools right now in the market build like opened such a huge opportunity for people with ideas. And yeah, you, especially if you are a parent, you have something from coming from school which is boring. Especially in my case, I have a ADHD child, so the child with ADHD really struggling to keep attention on the book exercise. And for him, I'm also building some practices in Lovable, just following your approach, making a photograph, uploading, and saying, can you build an interactive exercise? Use a Duolingo style, engagement
Mhm.
practices, blah, blah. A very simple prompt, spend no more than, I don't know, half an hour. Have something workable well. Surely I check the results. Sometimes I feel it can give a wrong answer, and I'm like always checking. But it's so incredible to it was to I will record it again. Okay.
Mhm.
It was so incredible to hear your story, especially how you build it up with your child. And I wish you to develop it further, definitely. Scale it up, bring it to schools, and maybe in, I don't know, half a year time, maybe 1 year time, we will hear about you in a product hunt or some other resources. So I wish you all the best with your product, and keep going, keep building, and keep sharing the knowledge.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Anna. It was a pleasure being in the podcast and sharing my story as well. If people want to follow what I'm building, they can find me on LinkedIn, where I share the experiments that I'm doing with Vibecoding and with AI. And I'm also documenting some of the journey in my Substack. So yeah, feel free to reach out and share your stories and share your feedback as well if you try the app.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.